Here's the recording. Thank you so much for joining. We have ladies. I want to say people, but it's only ladies. People, only ladies, joining us from Philippines today, from Singapore, from Wrocław, from Zurich, and from Warsaw. Eva, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. I'm in Wrocław.
In Wrocław, yes. So we have quite an international crowd today. Welcome. I'm starting 5 minutes past the top of the hour, but I promised to finish before the top of the hour at 2 o'clock local time. Today is the last session in the Career by Design series. This specific one, the first one, which I'm running every week on LinkedIn under the umbrella of Career by Design. All topics that I cover are related to designing your own career. And today we will be talking about beyond promotions, more than promotions, a holistic look at career success for women. This topic, for those of you who joined me last week, is leveraging the last week concepts. It's going beyond that a little bit, but those who were here last week will recognize some concepts, and I would be grateful for your input. Okay, let me move on. Again, for those of you who join me every week or regularly, you would be really sick and tired with this slide already. But this is for those of you who are seeing me speaking for the first time, and this is the question that I'm answering in case you are asking yourself, why is she talking, and why is she talking about career management? I'm, I would say, a corporate veteran, more than 25 years in the corporate world, in the financial sector, which I left at some point for my calling, which is career and business coaching. And this is what I have been doing all my life as a part of my executive roles in the financial sector globally, but now I'm doing it full time. That's my passion, and this is my expertise. I'm especially passionate about empowering women high achievers to take the next step in their career, because I know how difficult it can be for women to advance in their career. I've been there, I've done it, and now it's time to give back. Okay, so that's me. And the last, or maybe pre-last thing about Career by Design, the series. Although this is the pre-last one in the first series, there will be another one, another 13 sessions kicking in shortly. So it's not that I'm finishing off with that one specifically. It's just packed as 13 topics weekly. Wednesdays, 2 p.m. UK, 1 p.m. Central European time for high achieving women in the corporate world. Although the concepts are universal, I'm specifically tailoring them for women because there is a different angle always. It's not that all concepts are exactly the same for women and men, as you would know, of course, from your own life. The aim is to empower you to take control of your career journey. I think it's very, very important. If we don't take control of our career journey, someone else will, or it will just happen to us. And achieve long-term success and fulfillment. So if you're ready to join my community, please do. Please follow me. And if you have any other topics of interest, please let me know. As Dorothy was saying at the very beginning, she stumbled across this event after she was talking to a friend or a colleague about this topic earlier. So it's like coming in timely because they are important topics. And the last maybe word about Career by Design, proactive approach where you take charge of your professional journey and it's design and design a fulfilling career that aligns with your passion, skills, and values. And it's very, very important because I usually start with values, passions, and skills. I'm not especially precious or passionate about dwelling on weaknesses, but I do think we all should start with values, our why, and then our passions and skills. And this is what should drive us in designing our own career journey. Okay, so enough about that. Today we are talking about going beyond the obvious, beyond promotions, trying to take a holistic look at the career success for women. And again, it is for women because I will be looking at it from that angle. I'm happy to be challenged if you believe it is the same for men. Yes, I think that key concepts are, but the way we approach it and also the challenges that women make it a little bit different. Okay, so objectives of today, we are going to define the holistic career success beyond promotions and traditional metrics. And here I will be counting on you to share your views, what career success means to you. We will also be looking at some strategies for achieving work-life balance and personal fulfillment, identify and develop leadership potential, examine how to, and explore how to define career success on your own terms. And this is because all those components add to a holistic career success, at least in my view. Now, so what is your definition of success? Success is different thing for all of us. For some, it may be climbing the corporate ladder. For some, it may be, I don't know, having a quiet life and I don't know, maybe having a career from 9 to 5 and then doing something else, and that will be a success. But I wonder what's your view, and please do think about it. And when we go through the slides, I would welcome any views, and any, especially if you don't agree with what I'm sharing of the angle that I'm presenting here. Yeah, and again, how do we define career success? What are our values? What fulfills us? And what impact do we want to make? These are the key questions. I will stop here for a second because what I will be presenting going forward may be a little bit, I don't know, I don't want to say controversial, it will not be controversial, it's all obvious, but maybe my take on it will be a little bit different. Do you want to share, does anyone want to share what career success means for you specifically? And also, while you're thinking, career success will be different to all of us, but also will be evolving. The concept will be evolving along with us developing and growing and getting older. So what career success may mean for me now didn't necessarily mean for me, let's say, I don't know, 20 years ago, and may not mean the same for me in 10 years ago. So what I'm asking is, what is career success for you now? And has it changed lately or through your own career? Does anybody want to share? No one wants to share.
Okay. I can go.
Okay, sure, go.
Okay, wait, let me just turn on. I think for me, I think for career success, it's, having a job that aligns, that is very well aligned to my personal values and gives me a strong sense of purpose in the work that I do. And hopefully, the money is also, equally rewarding. In which case, sometimes it may not always be the case, but I think the alignment with the personal values for success is important. Yeah, for me. And what fulfills me is when I can, bring a project from initial concept to eventual execution, and some when the projects are able to impact people in a positive way. So yeah, for me personally, as a corporate communications practitioner, I try and incorporate both the success for career as well as the personal interest into my work as well. So yeah,
Mm.
yeah, that's for me.
Thank you, Dorothy, and it's absolutely beautiful. I love the way you presented this rounded view, and I especially love also your comment about money, because as I will be going through all the concepts later on, I don't want to say here that the traditional measures of success should be completely neglected. Money is important. It gives us financial stability. Or the feeling of financial stability. So yes, absolutely, it's a key component which we shouldn't be embarrassed talking about. Thank you for your view, Dorothy. Anybody else? And if not, I will move on. I will give you ladies a chance to think about it, and maybe you want to share your views later. Yeah. So why do we talk about measuring success beyond the obvious, and what is the obvious? Obvious would be promotions and salary, of course, the traditional metrics, but they don't capture the full picture of career success, exactly as Dorothy was saying. So let's consider the holistic framework: personal fulfillment, the impact that we want to make, learning and growth, because that's what's important too, and when you look at this holistic framework, I wonder if there is anything that is missing from here. This is what I call a holistic framework, and I will break those components down into more detail. And then again, when I say move beyond promotions and salary, I don't mean let's not talk about promotions and salary at all. Let's do, but let's add to this more metrics that make it more holistic. Okay, so yeah, if someone wants to say something now. What are the limitations of traditional metrics? Of course, promotions are often seen as measure of success. So we look at people at the top of the corporate ladder, and we think that they are really, really happy people. Everything is easy for them. And of course, the respect of the society and everything that they can, I don't know, I don't want to say buy, but everything that they can afford, and their respect, especially, I think, is very, very important. However, this is a narrow focus because it, of course, neglects work-life balance. It neglects sometimes job satisfaction, which is ironic because, again, the traditional view is that someone who is very successful and at the top of the corporate ladder will be very, very satisfied with their job, but oftentimes we don't see how much those people sacrifice to get there. And the overall well-being, which is, of course, connected with all of them. Now, if we redefine success, looking at the limitations of traditional success metrics like promotions and salary, and if we look at this narrow view, saying that promotions and salary impact learning and fulfillment, that promotions and salary can be influenced by factors beyond our control, which means it's not necessarily up to us always if we get up the corporate ladder, then of course it creates a competitive collaboration. And this is why I said at the very beginning that the angle that I'm looking at is the angle and perspective of a woman is different than for men, because for women, sometimes this competitive collaboration is really discouraging, whereas most men flourish on this competitive collaboration. That's what gets them. And this is why I think for women it's completely different. And then motivation may also be different for women and for men. Focusing on external rewards sometimes diminishes our internal intrinsic motivation. And then sometimes it doesn't capture positive impact of our work, and all of you will recognize a time in your career where you were paid really well and in a very good, company brand and so on, and still something was missing because you didn't believe or you didn't feel that it was what you're doing had any positive impact on the society, on the community, on whatever you believe in. And that's really, really tricky, especially for women, because that means that no matter how much you are compensated for your work, or no matter how good the company is where you work for, if you don't feel that you make a positive impact and it's important for you, then you will not be happy. So if we are redefining success beyond the traditional measures, and then again hold the thought, because we are not saying that promotions and salary especially are not important, but we want to go beyond them. If we go beyond them, what can be this holistic career success framework? What I'm sharing is my view on it. You may have different, you may have more to add here, but for me, these are those 5 elements. Professional growth is one, personal fulfillment, work-life balance, and impact and contribution. And the last one, you have to quote for me because I can't see it. Someone, please.
Financial security.
Exactly. Thank you. And this is something I didn't cover before, I think. And then I decided, and Dorothy was mentioning it before, it is a very important, financial stability. And then we go back to this loop of promotion and salary. Yes, it is important. And again, this sequence here is not important at all. It doesn't mean that professional growth has to be number 1 for you, personal fulfillment, and then the financial stability has to be at the very end of it. Not necessarily. It's not hierarchical. It's the key, I think, key components that we should look at if we want to define our holistic career success. Again, in different stages or phases of our life, those components will be less or more important. So if you are already financially stable, your personal fulfillment may be more important, or work-life balance if you have a young child, or I don't know what. So in many cases, it will be fluid, but I believe that these are the key components that at any point in time we will be experiencing. And if we don't find the balance between them, or among the 5 of them, our career success, I don't know, definition will not necessarily be met. And again, happy to be challenged. If there is anything that's missing from here, please let me know. I want to unpack all of them now briefly. And if you don't agree or you have a different view, please let me know. So professional growth, what I understand by professional growth is learning and developing new skills, seeking challenges and opportunities for advancement. Challenges are important because they take us out of the comfort zone. And beyond comfort zone is where we grow, although it's not comfortable, of course, but this is where we grow and learn more. And building expertise and industry knowledge, that's where we grow professionally. And look at this sequence here. Again, the points will be, some of them will be more important for one person, and the others will be more important for someone else. Continuously learning and developing new skills doesn't have to be within the expertise and industry knowledge, because you may want to go beyond your industry either now or later on in life. Personal fulfillment. Remember, we also said about spoke about personal fulfillment, aligning your work with personal values and passions. And again, Dorothy mentioned that at the beginning. Finding meaning and purpose. Yes, meaning and purpose. What if it's what I'm doing making sense to me and others? And for some people, it will be making sense if they earn a lot of money or enough money. And for some people, if they don't contribute to a larger cause, then there is no meaning and no purpose. And sense of accomplishment and satisfaction, that's really, really important. So I think one builds on the other, because if there is a meaning and purpose and you are happy with what you delivered, this is where your satisfaction grows. Work-life balance. This is something that's very much talked about now. there's this sometimes, myth of we can balance it all 50-50 and then we'll be happy ever after. But we also know that work-life balance means different things to different people. For me, it's prioritizing time for family, friends, and personal interests. Yes, your work is very, very important, and giving time to your company and your job is very, very important. But at some point, it will drain you, and it will be at the end of the day there is burnout. But between being very, very committed to your role, your job, and your company, and burnout, there are a lot of shades, like being really, really unhappy and feeling that life is passing us by. This is why I think prioritizing family, friends, and personal interests is really, really important. And I'm speaking from experience, because there were times in my own career where I was personal interest, especially, that was like when I was asked what are you interested in, it was really, really difficult for me to answer this question, because I didn't know. Like, I spent so much time in work and then in my day-to-day life that I had absolutely no specific interests. And I was really, surprised with the question. And this is, I know it's embarrassing, but I now consciously try to have passions and to add them to my life. But what it meant for me back then was squeezing my work time. And this is what I couldn't, I couldn't believe was what I wanted and what was important. But it's different now. Setting boundaries, of course, and managing workload effectively. Achieving a healthy equilibrium between work and personal life. Yeah, that's exactly it. So that's the point, going back to the very beginning, about work-life balance. The healthy equilibrium is important, because in different phases of our lives, different things will matter, and that will be our balance. Impact and contribution. So making a positive difference in our organization and community. Building strong relationships and collaborations. This is something that I would like to talk more about later on, because I think it adds so much to our holistic definition of success or career success. And this one is controversial sometimes. I remember I posted an article on LinkedIn the other day on leaving a lasting legacy. And I remember that the comments were at all sides of the spectrum, and someone was saying, no, it's the legacies. That's not. Yeah, what do you mean actually? Legacy. Work is not about legacy. So what I mean here, leaving a lasting legacy, is how do you impact your community, your friends, your colleagues, and how do you, what do you leave behind? And leaving behind doesn't have to be like, I don't know, building a new office, or like being a president of the United States and then having a peace Nobel Prize or anything that big. Doesn't have to be that big, but it could be if you are a mentor to someone, for example, or you are a role model, or you help people in other way, or you get involved in any project that goes beyond the obvious and your own work. This is leaving legacy. This is making an impact. Although the word itself, like lasting legacy, sounds very, serious. Financial security shouldn't be neglected. So if you go to the concept of promotions and a salary or salary raise, or our negotiations of our salaries, that's very, very important, because achieving financial stability and independence, especially for women in various communities across the globe, it's very, very important. I would say financial stability and independence. That's really, really important. Planning for long-term financial goals, and that's part of our career. That's exactly why I don't want to say that's exactly why we work, because that's exactly what the whole thing is about. It's not about money only, but I would say if you're not comfortable with money, with your financial stability, then everything else may be pushed away. for later. So that's important. And making informed financial decisions. So yes, I will come back to it because it's all very good to say so, achieve financial stability, plan long-term financial goals, and make informed financial decisions. We need to have a plan for it and to bundle it together one way or another so it makes sense for us. And again, some of you will recognize that here because sometimes there is this delicate balance between I'm in a really good job and I'm very well paid, but I'm not happy with what I'm doing. And this is what happened to me at some point. I had a really, really good career, but at some point I was just not happy with what I'm doing, regardless of the financial compensation and everything else. And I was at the point where I was ready to say, it's not about money anymore. I don't want to do it because I don't feel fulfilled. But then for different people, it will be a different timing, different phase. Okay, so we spoke about the strategy, the key components of the framework, holistic framework for career success, and how we go beyond promotions and salary. What are the key components? And now I want to go very, very quickly through the key strategies, how to go about the framework, how to introduce the framework into your life, to look at your career holistically. But before I do that, I do want to hear from you, ladies, because I know that you are still there. I can see it, but I can't hear you. So is there anyone, please, who wants to maybe comment on what I've covered so far? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Or what is your view on the concept of holistic framework for career success?
Hey, Isabella.
Yeah.
Yeah. So listen, I absolutely agree with what you said. I think it's absolutely great to have this framework because I think that initially when we start our career, we are not very mindful of the fact that it's a kind of equilibrium as you wrote it, and there are many components. And I think that just having something like that you just laying down everything, it's a good food for thought. So this is I find it absolutely great. Over my career, I have been navigating a few concepts, etc. But it's true that I had lacked some of these items, these components that you are pointing out here in your presentation. So and now that I am older, more senior, etc., I just definitely recognize that I have been missing some of these items, and now I'm much more mindful of them. And this helps definitely, and this helps to understand exactly where you want to go, how you want to go about it, and be slightly more, happier, I would say. So I definitely agree with all that, and I think that we have to in a very deliberate way think about all these components. And this is actually how you just also design your career, right? This is exactly your title, designing it, being deliberate about taking these components and think about them and just trying and live by them. So this is my kind of thoughts about what you just said. And thank you.
Kinga, thank you so much, because you touched upon something really important that I didn't mention here, but I fully subscribe to it. When we start our careers, we don't think about it. We are young and we have different priorities. Either we just want to find a job, or we don't care yet about financial stability, long-term, and so on. And that's really sad. And I think it's not, I would say it's not necessarily our fault. Every young person does it because like those kind of things are not taught in schools. I'm not aware of too many curricula that would cover the designing your career and thinking about your career long term. But that's why I think it's so very important for us to, at some point in our life, to step back and think about it long term. And also, if we have children, to teach them those concepts so that we don't, or they don't wake up at the end of their career thinking that's not exactly what I wanted. There is one trap here though. Of course, we cannot control everything in our life, and we cannot control our career all the time, because there are other people, life happens, there are different, life will be taking us in different directions, but that's fine. As long as we know what we want at any given point in time in life, we can always course correct. And if we don't, then whatever happens will be just throwing us here and there, here and there. So I thank you, Kinga, for this perspective, because it's really, really important. And like you, I also had different phases in my career, and definitely at the beginning of my career, I didn't look at it like that. I do now. I wish I had looked at it that way when I was much, much younger. Thank you, Kinga. Anybody else wants to share their wisdom with us, ladies?
I just want
don't know about wisdom. Go, Eva.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to say that I totally agree with those elements that you presented, Isa, and I'm also supporting the view that possibly this is something that actually should be part of our education, I would say. And I'm observing recently not only the young people who are just entering the job market, but also people, let's say, in the middle age, who are still didn't capture that, who are, for instance, not able to believe that it is possible to find a place that will really fulfill all of those elements to some degree, obviously, but this is also something that we need to have in mind for ourselves. I believe that okay, this is achievable. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it is possible to find a place where all of those aspects that you presented can be satisfied. Sometimes it may be not a satisfaction coming directly from the main role. Sometimes it might be fulfilled through some other engagements, like in parallel to our main job. There are many organizations who are offering such options. But basically, maybe I wouldn't go that far that everything is possible, but we need to have this belief in ourselves to be able to achieve those goals effectively. If we lack that, and sadly this is not something that is, as I mentioned, part of our education, we will need more time to get to that point if we were lucky.
Thank you, Eva, for this perspective. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree that it's not taught anywhere, and it's not only young people, but people at every stage of their life. Even now, oftentimes I observe, and I was doing exactly the same. If I wanted to change something in my career, so I was looking at what's available on the market. And now I argue we should be looking at, what do I want to do next? What would fulfill me? What is important for me? Where am I in my life? And only then look what's available that would fulfill my own criteria. We don't do that also because there is this absolutely natural worry that if we don't go for something that's available right now, we will not be able to find anything, and therefore we will not be financially stable and so on. So there is this delicate balance, but I do feel we should try from this other angle. What's important for me? What do I want to do? Where do I want to go next? And this is exactly why I was saying the other day, and I still swear a bit by it, whenever we start a new job, or if, not necessarily, ideally when we start a new job, but in any time in our job, we should have an exit strategy, knowing where do we want to go in this particular job, and where is the time when we want to look for something else. And then looking for something else, then it's already too late. So let's have a plan. Okay, ideally, I want to be in this role for 3 years, and beyond this role, this is what I want for myself, and then working towards it. But then, if we put 12, 13, 14 hours in what we are doing now for the company, there will be no space for thinking long term for us. And this is why it's often said, don't prioritize your job before your career. Prioritize your career. Yes, delivering in your job is very, very important, but do have a strategy before they have a strategy for you, because every job is as stable as the notice period. It can be 1 month, it can be 3 months, right? And so what we believe is a stable thing, it's not necessarily that stable. So having a plan B is very important. There was someone else who wanted to share their view, I believe.
Maybe if I can share mine. So I have been working for about 20 over years. So my first job was a dream job. There was no politics in the first 4 years. I was in the museum. All my colleagues are ex-educators and they're super nice. So I really enjoyed the time in the first 4 years before there was a change of leadership. And I realized in the next 3 years, I wasn't really happy because the personal values are not aligned with what the corporate direction of the company is. And during that period, I thought, okay, if I want to leave this job, then I want to go for something completely different to the arts industry that I love. I'll try something completely different. And I stumbled upon the shipping industry. So I was doing corporate communications. I could still do shipping, but in the first few years, I was not very sure. Like I can do the job, but I didn't see the passion in the industry because it's quite business to business. But then I grew to realize that I can use the things that I have learned within the industry to in the arts industry to influence the shipping industry. I was able to get like creative ways to do marketing of careers, which was in the foundation where I worked. And then I realized also when I was working in the shipping industry that I had more free time to myself, whereas in the museum it was a lot of public holidays and weekends that I had to burn, and I didn't know the sun can be still out when you leave the office. So that was a nice realization. So I decided then I think I know I like community work. So that was something that I thought, okay, maybe I'll pursue a career in community work. And then they say, oh, all your volunteer commitments are quite ad hoc. They are not like leadership roles. So actually, you're more suited for comms, like just comms and media. Then I started to do this what I call my passion projects, things that I'm really passionate about. And I started volunteering my comms experience for causes that I'm really passionate about for children and all that. So everything that I cannot do in the shipping job, I can do it on the side as a free volunteer, and it gives me that sense of fulfillment. So now that I'm in another shipping company, that is a bigger global entity, I was able to get some of the things that I can do. I do outside of work and park it as part of my work in internal comms and corporate social responsibility. So it's a little bit like the Japanese ikigai where you find your purpose and what you love and all that. So the only downside for me is that because the company had been in the downturn for a long time, the current company is an American company. The previous company is a British company, but it was in the downturn for a long time. So salaries and all that was stagnant for a long while. So then is that little bit of financial security that, or like I know that my peers out there with the same experiences are getting more than me, but it's no fault of the current company. So I just have to grapple with that on my own and say, okay, I have full autonomy to the projects that I want to deliver, and I can create positive impact to the people that I work with, like the seafarers and all that. And the senior management has the buy-in and they're open to this because they've never had a comms person. So I try and balance those. Sometimes at the back of the brain, you still think could have done this, and maybe if I do this in another company, I may be getting more money. But I like the holistic career success framework that you put out because everybody puts a different percentage to each of the value. So yeah, so I suppose money is not the number one priority for me. Yeah.
Thank you, Dorothy. It's beautiful, and thank you so much for sharing, because it's really, really important. That's exactly what we always say. Like when you are going for a job, do consider all the the salary components, if you like, or the benefits or the compensation beyond the monetary. And as you say here, like maybe not necessarily the financial side is maybe not ideal, but then you have more time to pursue what you want to pursue. And that's exactly it. But for this, one needs to have this awareness that you do, and also perseverance. Yeah, I like the way you said for the first 2 years you were not necessarily sure, but you decided to stay, and you decided to get involved in side projects which are giving you this fulfillment, and on top of that you are learning there as well, so you can at some point in time bring this experience to even an even better job. So yeah, absolutely. The only thing is that we learn all of this on the go, and sometimes we just say, oh, I should have known it sooner, or it's a pity I haven't done this or that. But hindsight is a very good thing. We always know better after something happens. Yeah, but thank you so much, Dorothy. That's a beautiful story, and thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing, all of you. I will go into those strategies now very, very quickly. So we know the framework, but how do we go about the framework? So my take on this is we need to build a strong foundation, and I will go through all of those components briefly in a moment. We need to cultivate leadership skills. And at the beginning, when I was writing this, I was thinking like cultivating leadership skills for women. And I was thinking, why do I put this angle for women on it? And then I decided, yeah, there is a reason why I decided that leadership skills for women will be different leadership skills than for men, especially if we want to go beyond all the habits that hold us back or all the societal expectations.
Sorry, Isabella.
Yeah.
Awesome, yay. I have been trying to unmute for 10 minutes. I'm glad I finally got through to you. I'm sorry to disturb you.
No. Go on.
I've literally been trying to say something since the questions.
Okay,
I had a question, actually.
Sure.
It was based on point number 4. That's how long I've been struggling. When you were speaking about how we can have the impact and the contribution to our communities. And I'm just wondering, how do you basically widen the net to influence more people and to get or reach out to as many ladies out there as you can to encourage them? Because there's a lot of people that don't realize how possible it really is for us females still. Some, especially here in Africa anyways, they still feel there are so many limitations, but I think the biggest bondage is in the mind first before anywhere else. So I've always wanted to widen the net in terms of making a positive difference out there, so that when ladies see a success story that has 3 children, that has a marriage, that is managing a church, there are so many things I'm doing and I'm busy, but it doesn't stop me from being able to still be career driven. So I've been lacking in where to widen the net and how to widen the net. Seeing that you've successfully done that, look, we're here. I was wondering if you have pointers on how I can apply myself better.
Thank you for this question. And what's the proper way of pronouncing your name, please?
Piwe, thank you for asking.
Piwe, yeah.
Yes.
And thank you so much for chipping in, and thank you for your patience for, because I haven't seen Piwe that you were trying to say something. Next time, just shout.
No, the speaker had a problem. My mic. It was a mic issue. Yes.
Okay, no worries at all. And thank you for this, because it's a very, very important question, a very valid and important question, something that I was wondering about as well, how to scale what I'm doing, for example, and how to scale all efforts to get there to the women who don't necessarily believe, in what's possible. And the reason why they don't believe it, the reasons may be absolutely legitimate reasons, and it may be absolutely fair to think that it's hard and it's not possible to have a career and family and so on, because everybody's different and everybody has a different background in life. But to your point, so in this community, my community, there is also a lady from Bangladesh. I don't think she's with us today. And she's an excellent example of how she had exactly the same passion to go to women in Bangladesh and to empower them to pursue their careers. And what she did is absolutely an amazing journey, because she founded the first women organization in Bangladesh, and then she also scaled it beyond. She has a couple of organizations now that she herself set up, inviting women, going to all communities, but also going to corporate worlds, because she herself worked in an investment bank. So she had an idea, and she decided to put this idea into practice by organizing communities of women. She has a community called We Global Women, and organizing those women in those communities and sharing, organizing webinars, sharing her knowledge, but also introducing the knowledge of everybody else, because there is this shared community wisdom, of course. So that's one thing. Another thing is what I'm doing that's exactly why I'm doing this. And of course, it's good for my business because I'm building my brand and so on. But one of the reasons why I'm doing this, and I'm relentlessly posting on LinkedIn, is because I want to scale it. I want this to go beyond my immediate network. So that's one thing. Webinars, publishing, but definitely going out there and forming those communities, as you say, in the church, for example. I have another lady who is forming a community around her church community, women, to specifically around the financial savviness and how to manage your finances for African women. So I think that's the way, and publishing, of course, as well. So I wonder if this helps, and I also wonder if there are any other voices here in this community, ladies, that you can help Piwi with her question, how to scale and bring the message to more women. No ideas. I don't believe.
I think, okay, for me, I think sometimes, if you recognize a passion that you have for a particular cause, using that professional skill to volunteer for a cause that you are passionate about brings a whole new network of people, that may somehow, along the way be useful, but that shouldn't be the initial intention. I think the very basis of volunteering for that particular cause is because you feel very passionate about it. But along the way, I think usually in the volunteering space, there are a lot of like-minded people that you will find in different areas of specialization. And having done that for more than 20 years, I find those contacts like really, really helpful. And sometimes, one thing may lead to another. There may be other, opportunities to be able to, combine the professional skills and the passion that you have to serve a bigger cause. Yeah, so that's my personal take on it.
Thank you for this, Dorothy, because that's something that I overlooked, and it's really, really important. But that's exactly what I'm doing as well. I'm now teaming up with this community of global women, my community, and global women community of this lady from Bangladesh, which goes beyond Bangladesh now. It's global. It's truly global. We will be having common webinars, and training sessions and so on. So this will be like bringing those two communities together and widening the impact. Puri, does it help?
Certainly, it does help.
Thank you.
Thank you, Isabella.
So let's go. Yeah. Okay, let's go back to this. And we have a couple of minutes left. So we are talking about the key strategies like building a strong foundation, cultivating leadership skills, prioritizing work-life balance, which we did talk about, personal growth and well-being, And last but not least, creating impact and making a difference. So we are talking about this, the framework, and now we are talking about the strategies and what we can do, like building a strong foundation. What does it mean? So we start with understanding our values, strengths, and career goals, right? That's the first thing that you need to do. Step back and understand, what does it mean for me? What career goals do I have? Are they based on my values? What are my values? What are my key strengths and skills? Passions. How do they align with my career? Are they important at this point in my life, or maybe later on, because now I'm focusing on something else? Yeah, this one we spoke about. And this is something that I really want to dwell on for a second, creating your personalized career roadmap. Because once you have considered all these strong foundation components, it's time to define your personalized career roadmap. Where am I going? What is my end game? End game that I know now, because of course everything will be changing, but what is my ideal end game now? And then working from that to here and now, what do I need to do? What are the milestones? What are the gaps that I need to, work on, like skills maybe, or networking, or I don't know what, because there will always be gaps. But do have this personalized career roadmap. This is what I'm working on with my clients as well, to understand where they are going. And that's exactly what I did for myself a couple of years ago. What is my career roadmap? Where does it end? And of course, it doesn't mean that I keep to it every day. Things are changing, but my ultimate goal doesn't. Cultivating leadership skills. There is a lot to cover. I'm going to go through it quickly to be respectful of time, ladies. Why did I talk about leadership skills from the perspective of women? I think it's important to go beyond managerial roles. You don't have to be a CEO, or you don't have to be a VP to be a leader. You can lead from any position. You can influence without authority by building relationships and getting buy-in. So that's really, really important. And challenges, don't shy away from challenges. There will always be challenges because they are opportunities for growth. Essential leadership skills for women. Why did I say they are different? Because for some women, empathy, for example, is sometimes thrown upon, like, oh yeah, women are emotional and everything else. But it's important. It's our strength. So this is what we should be using. Exactly, working to our strengths, but be mindful of all the myths and angles that others will be looking at it. Resilience, who doesn't know that? Bouncing back from setbacks and learn from failures. Easier said than done, but very, very important. And communication, effectively convey ideas to inspire others. These are, I believe, the essential leadership skills for women. Authenticity, empathy, naturally leveraging women key skills, last resilience and communication. Decision making, something that it took me years to learn, to master. Quick decision making and trusting myself. I think this is really important. And building strong professional network. That's what Pee-wee was talking about, and this is what's really, really important for all of us. Without a strong professional network, it's almost impossible to climb the corporate ladder. That's leveraging online platforms, that building connections with your colleagues, and so on and so on. This is all of what we know. And the last one is important as well, because networking cannot be one-way street. Do offer value as well. And no, it's not transactional. It's just fair. So once you have a meaningful relationship, do offer something from yourself before you look for something from others. And mentorship coaching, mentorship in your organization. Do look for mentors and coaches beyond your company, because you will be able to tell them more than you would be telling your mentor within your company. You would be able to be more open, and they can give you a different perspective. Prioritizing work-life balance, I will not be dwelling on this because we spoke about it. That balance is key to long-term success. Managing time and stress effectively is important to avoid burnout. Who doesn't know that? Some of us experience it in life firsthand. A healthy work-life rhythm is important, and supportive work environment, which we discussed about. Yeah. Self-improvement, personal growth, continuous learning. I'm passionate about continuous learning, but do remember, learning without action is entertainment, and knowledge is not that valuable anymore. It's knowledge and action. Knowledge is everywhere, but what we do with this knowledge makes a difference. Yeah, healthy work-life balance. I don't know how so many times I'm talking about it. Maybe it's important for me now. It is a lot. Yes. Creating impact and making a career difference. The purpose, giving back to your community. This is what Kiwi was talking about. How do I go and carry the message to more and more people in my community and beyond my community? Lasting legacy, we demystified this already. Meaningful professional footprint. And what else matters? And I'm really going to an end now. Two more things that I want to mention. Building for positive relationships for your career advancement, it's absolutely key and crucial. Colleagues, mentors, sponsors, networking and support system, please do not forget about it. 95%, apparently, according to research, 95% of senior positions go to people who have a relationship with the person who is hiring. That's very, very important. Trust is important. And leveraging existing networks, seeking mentorship, we spoke about it. Engagement and involvement, staying engaged is important. And what helps is variety and challenge, autonomy and ownership, regular feedback and recognition. This is when you will get bored with your work or feel like you are not engaged anymore. This is what helps. Finding some variety and challenge for yourself, making sure that you have enough autonomy and ownership, and seeking for feedback and recognition, because we women, we oftentimes don't look for recognition and we don't claim achievements. Collaboration and teamwork. Yes, so what is your definition of success, ladies? I hope you will ask yourself the question today, what is your definition of success? And you will, if you don't have it yet, you will be working on your career roadmap and defining success on your terms. Yeah, the key takeaways. Redefining success beyond traditional metrics, identifying and celebrating personal and professional milestones, cultivating a regular reflection, practice for growth, and empowering your journey. This is very, very important. And having said that, I hope that's the end of my slides, because I don't want to bore you to tears with this. Consider journaling or coaching to get clarity. This is something that shows up every time in my sessions. I think it's really, really important. Took me a while to use journaling as a helpful tool. Coaching I've been using for many, many years for myself. Yes, and career planning is an ongoing process, and it's important to remain proactive and intentional about your growth and development, ladies. Questions, please. I'm going to stop sharing because I want to see you all. Yes, and there are some. Thank you. Eva has switched off. Any questions, ladies, at this point, please? Thank you so much for being so patient with me. Do you have any questions or any comments?
I have something. It's more of a reflection than a question. I am somehow I didn't get a chance to speak when we were sharing. Like there was this biggest part of sharing. I also didn't know how to phrase it, but when we were talking about work with purpose, somehow I also had a dream job just after I finished studies. It was in an NGO, but it was not enough to earn for living. It was really, I could barely make ends meet. And then I just looked, let's say, I quote, for a normal job. which is in a corporate environment. And then there where I stayed for the next 20 years. And still, I'm not sure for now if it's like a limiting belief that I have right now, is that if I come back to this type of work in NGOs, I'm still afraid that I will not be able to have this financial security, right? It's an open reflection. I am still reflecting on this because I started applying for jobs in this sector, but still not sure if it's really possible for me to switch and earn much less than I used to earn in banking.
Mm. And thank you for sharing, Asha, because we may call it a limiting belief, but in fairness to you, it's something that you experienced and it was very painful. So now you still remember it and it still doesn't help. And it's normal that you are scared now to go back because you think the scenario may repeat itself. So I would say I would acknowledge this as something that is not completely normal. And I know it doesn't help in the way like, so how do I go from there? Because one thing is to acknowledge this, and another thing is to get over it in a way, and to get over it in a controlled way, maybe. In a controlled way is how to try and find and research jobs in NGO that do pay well enough for you, or considering a bridge role that will help, that will enable you to do the NGO work for less money or pro bono, or at the beginning, and then switch to more lucrative, I would say.
So something like Dorothy mentioned, which was really
I think so, yeah.
a nice idea, inspiring.
I think this is important because what else can you do? You can also. I think this is a decision that we need to make ourselves. What do I prioritize now, and how long I can wait for something to pop up? Is it even realistic that NGOs will be paying that much as I need? How much do I need? So people often start with, okay, that's as much as I need to earn to sustain my living now, and will the job that I'm looking for and do a decent research, will it provide for that? Will it help me provide for that? If so, we are looking for it, and it's not impossible to find it. But if your research shows that no, in no way on the planet this will pay as much as I need now, then you need to go for something like a bridge role, and then slowly but surely transition to something which pays better with your experience and with your knowledge of the industry and knowing where to go next. But starting
makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, starting with what I need and can I find it? Does it exist? And if it does exist, Asha, you can get it. Okay, anybody else? Asha, thank you for sharing. There are no more questions. I thank you so much, ladies, for your time this afternoon or this evening, depending where you are joining us from. Thank you so much. I will post the recording on LinkedIn. If you want to remember only one thing from the session today, please do remember that we all need to have a career roadmap and know where we are going, and define our own criteria for holistic career success. With that, I thank you so much, and hopefully I will see you next week.
Thank you, Isa.
Thank you so
Very
much.
valuable session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.